good afternoon, everybody. So, almost. It is the middle of the afternoon, isn't it? We're getting through them quite quickly today, Phil. So we are thrilled to be joined. Again, we have somebody with us here and also somebody with us cooking at the same time. So we are here with a very, very well-known caviar company called Kaviari, and Catherine is, what is your job title exactly? Catherine from Kaviari is your job title?
Yes, I'm the one who is looking after the UK.
So we're going to be talking about caviar, but actually showing what can be done with caviar. We have Jeremy, I hope. Jeremy, you're there?
I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for battling the Elizabeth line to get to us. It was touch and go as to whether you could come here. So Jeremy is going to be creating a dish, and Catherine and I are going to be chatting caviar.
Shall I get it on the way?
Get it on the way.
Good stuff. Jeremy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You just take a breath, because I know it was a bit of a flustery journey to get
Yeah,
here.
that's fine.
But just tell the world who you are.
So today what we're going to do, we're going to have Osso risotto with two kinds of salmon. Right? We're going to use smoked salmon and fresh salmon. So it's all the ingredients we'd use normally for the classic caviar, like tasting or degustation, but we're going to put in one dish. So we're going to have creme fraiche, lime, shallots, parsley, and salmon. And obviously the caviar on top of everything. So it's going to be a little twist because I brought some smoked tea. So we're going to infuse the fish stock with the smoked tea. So it's going to bring a lot more deepness, a lot more body into the Osso pasta. So it will give a different dimension of the dish.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, I suppose you better crack on then.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you crack the conversation on.
So Catherine,
Yes, Leah.
what is it about caviar? Why do we love caviar so much?
Because it's a fantastic product. And these days, there is so many ways to use caviar. A long time ago, people, especially chefs, did not really know how to use the caviar. They mainly used to do a caviar service, put the team in the middle of a dish with all of the accompaniments, the eggs, the shallots, and the vinegars and all of the herbs and all of that. But in recent years, the chefs have really, really embraced the way to cook caviar, to introduce caviar in their dish, whether it's in a terrine, whether or not it's in a sauce, or simply in a quenelle, as Jeremy is going to put, on his dish. So yes, now you find in every fine restaurant, in lots of restaurants, you can find caviar on the menu because it's such a great.
And so
ingredient.
I've been lucky enough to come out to Paris to
Was a
Kaviari.
pleasure.
My job is really hard sometimes. I had to go to Paris and I had to try lots of caviar with Catherine. It's really hard day's work. And it's quite an extraordinary place. There's quite a lot of history behind Kaviari, the brand, isn't there?
Yes, so we started over 40 years ago. We originally used to import caviar from the Caspian Sea. We used to work with the Sheila. The Sheila is the Ministry of Fishery in Iran. And they were the one who were actually decided which caviar they were going to let us import to France. It was, even if we wanted to have at the time maybe 500 kilos, they would say, no, you can only have 200 kilos.
Wow.
It was very, very, it was really, really, really hard. But now things have changed a lot because since the early 2000s, you cannot have wild caviar.
Right.
Because everybody in the Caspian Sea, between the late 80s to the early 2000s, everybody dips their hand in the Caspian Sea, and some people say, well, I'm going to say it, there is no more sturgeon. And it's an historical, a prehistorical fish, sturgeon. You've got one here, just to show you what a sturgeon looks like. They were disappearing.
Wow.
So therefore, now to import caviar, you need to have some permits. So in the early 2000s, that's when we started the farm the farm industry, and now there is, lots of farm all over the world. We actually source our caviar all over the world, but the great things about Kaviari, because we had that experience previously with the wild caviar, we use our savoir-faire, our know-how on how to make caviar. Because it's an art to make caviar. Because from the time you harvest the eggs, the raw from the female, it's not caviar. The caviar is the end product.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that. They think you just squeeze the eggs out of the sturgeon, stick it in a jar, and that's your caviar.
No. Just a quick thing about the sturgeon. We've got all different sturgeons that will give you different caviar. Okay, so you've got the transmontanus, you've got the berry, you've got the ossetra, which we're going to use today, which come from the Geldenstati, the Russian caviar, and then we've got, some hybrid caviar. Just for you to know, we only find out around the age of 3 years old the sex of the fish.
Good grief.
Yeah, so that sturgeon up
That's
to the age of 3 years old will be roaming, in a lake, and then, that's when. Because now, the good things about farm caviar, everything is controlled. As before, when we used to go into the Caspian Sea, you used to actually, go fishing, but you never knew.
You never knew what you caught.
What you could be catching a 20-year-old or 30-year-old fish. It was by the size of the fish. That you say, yeah, we keep let's go back. Let's go back inside.
This movement towards a non-wild caviar and farmed, is that a global thing? Or
Yes.
Yes. That's all around the world.
Yes.
That's how
Yeah.
caviar is
Yeah.
now produced.
Yeah. No wild caviar. Whether or not some people said, do you think one day wild caviar will exist again? I don't know. Because now there is such a big, huge industry around the farm caviar. Everything is more sustainable. Everything is more controlled. And, we're going to take a berry, for example, which is a Siberian sturgeon. Well, around 5 or 6 years old, you can start harvesting the first fish. It's a beluga. It's going to take 15 years old.
Whoa. And how long will they produce eggs for?
Oh, I think all their life. If
But-
they're not,
but- but so how long
because we kill the sturgeon.
Yeah.
We kill the sturgeon.
What's their kind of age span? Just when they die?
Yeah. But now, us at Kaviari, we actually, when we know exactly, at 3 years old, we separate the male and the female. So we know, depending on the sturgeon, when the female is going to be ready to produce her first eggs, because we're going to scan them. It's as simple. It's the same way as we would do for us ladies when we're pregnant. We would go for a scan. Yeah. So we take the sturgeon for a scan. But us as Kaviari, we do not take the first pregnancy. We let the female.
There's such a lot of work behind.
Yeah.
And the work doesn't just stop with. When you said earlier on about savoir-faire, and you do have know-how. I mean, Kaviari is quite a big company, but it's got very small. You work closely with a lot of chefs.
Yes.
And for those, if you ever get to go to Kaviari, there's an incredible man called Bruno.
Yeah.
Bruno is your caviar master.
Yeah.
And Bruno is in charge. Do you call it a carve, like a cellar of caviar? You know where the caviar is stored? Would that be like a cellar?
It's our laboratory,
Yeah.
It's our laboratory. Inside we've got some huge, cold room, separate with, different caviar. The one who is ready, the one who's not ready, the one who needs to go through customs. It's like a big logistic,
But
organization.
Bruno is this character who works with the chefs like Alain Passard or Ducasse or chefs like 2-3 Michelin stars, and he is in charge of their own caviar.
Yes, yeah. Because
Only he looks after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because caviar, from the time, we harvest the eggs and, we get, to salt it and all of that, it's still not caviar. It will probably take, between 3 to 6 months for the eggs to actually become caviar. And Bruno, during the aging process, the maturation process, he will supervise it, and he will turn the tin. You remember the big tin, to make sure that the oil, will go through, all of the egg. Because if we don't turn the tin during the aging process, the bottom will be mushy, very oily, and the top will be quite dry. So after about 2.5 months, it will start opening some. It's not a very hard job. He eats caviar every day. 3, 4, 5 times a day. But he will start opening some tin and he will start tasting it because different fish will take different time to actually, mature. And as you said, we've got some chefs in Paris who require a specific caviar. So the younger the egg is, the firmer and the fresher, and it will not be as tasty as a 6-month-old caviar.
That's incredible.
So as you said, all our chefs have got a very specific need, and in Paris we're very lucky that we've got Bruno, who has a picture. Maybe I think we saw it in a film. If we, a picture of lots of people like Alain Ducasse, Hélène Darroze, Alain Passard, Stéphanie Lequelec.
Yeah.
I could spend all day, telling who they are, and it's just a picture. For example, Alain Passard, and he will take the crystal, and he will want, a firmer, like an egg that's going to pop, because for his dish he needs that special popping, popping texture, and so yeah.
It's incredible. I suppose we're going to see what Jeremy's doing, aren't we?
You finished?
Sorry.
No.
She haven't.
And I was looking for a career change,
Is there,
and now I
is there
know
a
what I
tin of
want.
is there a tin of caviar there, by the way?
We have a jar, I think. Oh yeah, we do. We do.
Is it open?
No, but we have one in the fridge.
Can we
So there's one in the fridge. Okay.
Alan! So sitting over here, Catherine, we've got some students from Loughborough College, so they're in the black jackets. So they've just got through to
I don't want to touch it. I don't want to drop it.
the UK Young Restaurant
be
Team
careful.
competition.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring that they should taste some caviar.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think we'll show them how.
Yeah.
Can we have it over here? Come on, yeah. I'm not eating it, but I think. Can I have a spoon? Are we okay for the students?
Yeah, Jérémy,
Do we have a spoon?
maybe Juliette can help us. Juliette is my colleague.
Okay, Juliet's going to find the spoon.
That's fine. We'll take care of that.
And that's Darren.
Juliette, Jérémy got some spoons.
We've got
What's
a
the
couple of
ideal
little
temperature?
spoons.
Mine.
They're yours.
Yeah, they're mine, yeah.
You need them? Okay.
Sorry,
There we
I'll
go.
let you get back to it now. Okay,
Just enjoy your caviar there.
I'll let you get back to.
Yeah, it's a hard work,
Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of furious chopping. Everything seems very serene in here now.
No, just the boring stuff. I don't know the time they were speaking. Now I can. So the tea is infusing here in a fish stock. So as you can see, you can smell it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That smells really
That smells pretty good, eh?
You guys just
So now I'm gonna do the salmon here and the smoked salmon. Smoked salmon, I'm gonna start with the smoked salmon because I just need some dice. It's nothing like super serious. I already done the brunoise of the shallot and the garlic. So that will be after when the pasta, the Osso pasta is cooked. I'm gonna start to sweat like a risotto. Start to sweat garlic and shallots. Drop the pasta inside. Finish it quickly because they're already cooked. And we're gonna add after, at the end, the smoked salmon. Because we don't want it to be cooked, we just want it to be warm. And like, otherwise it gets too dry because it's already cured. So it is the most important. And on top of that, we're gonna put the fresh pan-fried salmon, where it will be like really cooked, like medium rare. Just a big piece on top, just to like finish it, and we can break it through
Very nice.
different textures with the crispy skin on top.
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while they're getting tucked into their caviar, just tell us a little bit about you and your background. How have you ended up here doing this?
I used to work with Catherine for over 4 years.
wait.
So I've been in London for like 9 years here. and actually been in Ducasse for the first years in at the Dorchester, so in a 3 Michelin star. So we use Kaviari there. We use Kaviari in Paris as well, and a little bit of different restaurant. And after I moved to a member club, and through there, I used to be the head chef there, and I started to work with Catherine and Kaviari like a lot more closely. So we used to do in a member club like a big selection of caviar. So we had the Citra, we had the Crystal, and we had the Beluga. Everything on the like for the guests to have it on a full tasting style. So they could choose what they wanted. If they wanted 30 grams of tin of caviar, it would be fine. They wanted 50, fine.
You have to wait.
125, fine. 250 grams, we will have it as well. Depends on how much they wanted to spend and
Phil,
to enjoy.
so I'm just going to interrupt you really quickly. So these guys from Loughborough have been sat here very patiently with the caviar on the back of their hands.
Ouais, merci.
Can you just explain the best way to taste caviar?
Well, it's actually that way, what we call à la royale. Okay, that is actually the best way to taste the caviar, just right here, because especially that one just come out of the fridge, that to leave it a little while here on your hand is going to take the temperature of your hand, and it will be much nicer to actually to taste. So there you've got an Ossiètre Prestige that comes from the Russian caviar called Gelded, and it takes between 7 and 9 years for the female to produce her first eggs. Us at Kaviari, we're going to wait another pregnancy, which can take up to 18 months. Okay, so each time the female is pregnant, it can take between 18 to 24 months. We do select the second or sometimes the third because we believe that the eggs will be bigger and will be nicer to work with. So, and then, you're going to bring it. You're going to bring it onto to your tongue and slightly bring your tongue to your palate, and you just enjoy it. Enjoy. Mm-hmm. So the Ossiètre, the texture of the Ossiètre is quite buttery. It's very buttery. It's very subtle. The longer you're going to age it, it will become more creamier. But that one there is, is buttery and is very subtle. And then you've got, after some little nutty flavor, at the back, at the end. The Ossiètre, in terms of taste, will be the one who will be closer to the taste of the fish. Because you've got some caviar where, a lot very, very different, but this one will be, even though they all have the same amount of salt in there, is the one who is going to retain the more saline, flavor, How, yeah, nice, well done.
Crack on. Yeah, right, okay, so what's the progress, chef?
So I'm going to start to do this one now. So I'm just going to do one side because I'm not going to feed the whole entire business.
That's
today.
fair enough, yeah.
So salmon is, everyone has different technique, right, for fish. And I think I'm very open-minded, and I think everyone should be as well, right? There is a very small bone and very it's a round fish, so it's only one central spine with bones here and bones on both sides here. Japanese remove the head first. It doesn't matter. You can do it without the head, you can do it without the head, you can remove the collar, you can leave the collar on. Everything is different for everyone. In Japan, they keep the collar because they serve as a premium piece. While here, most in UK, we throw it away. What is very different. But because here is the most fatty piece of the fish, so it will be always tender even if you overcook it. So anyway, for this one, great. Let's get
Are you removing the full fillet?
Yeah, it's a low scale as well, so it's not this scale, so it's gonna be fun to do it. So the one who's gonna taste the dish is gonna have a little bit of.
Also showing how useful it is to have a very sharp knife to do this.
Yeah, always. It's better to have like a longer knife, but you need to look for the spine bone right here. After, I mean, you cannot hear it here, but you need to go along the spine, the bones. I know when I do it at home, it's not for like vegan or people a bit sensitive, because when you hear the noise of the knife on a
Bone crunching.
yeah, it's pretty crunchy.
But I suppose this is a technique that is worth taking your time over in terms of, because you want to maximize the meat return. I
Absolutely.
suppose.
You want to maximize the meat. You want to lower the weight as much as you can on the bone, because your prime sell is the piece of fish you do. After, if you have like meat on it, you will sell it for different dish. You can do like an amuse-bouche, like a snack or a tartare or anything related, or like for the fish cake, because you have just like sharpie of fish. You don't have anymore the main piece.
Making it look very easy,
There we
chef. And the pressure with the camera on as well.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's not much like left on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd want to give you a round of applause, to be honest, but that's just me.
So here we go here. So I'm gonna take just one piece. So the bones, contrary to other fish, are just right here. So it's different technique as well. Use the pin bone to do that. Here.
Yeah, they're quite easy to spot on a salmon, aren't they?
Yeah, it's better to like pass the finger just to like make them stand. So you can spot them first, and you can easily after remove everything. When you're a chef, you need to use your five senses. It's always very important. As right here, touching, and your eyes can be good, but I think the tactile is the best for this part.
For sure.
And after, to check the quality, of course, the smell first before to taste, if you don't want to get sick at any point.
Yeah. No, indeed. I'm going to leave you to crack on with that, chef, and we'll go back to
Thank you.
here.
We're sharing a microphone now because that other one's died. Is it still dead?
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
it's back.
No, hey, hello. Come back.
So it's quite interesting early on with the guys from Loughborough. And so tasting caviar is just best completely natural, like no crackers, not...
Well, you know, one of my best way to eat caviar, I like to have it with a potato.
I've heard that.
You know, and that's what we did in Cromayer,
Yeah.
you know, this weekend. And you just said, you know, myself, I like it with a rat, a shallot, or something like that, you know, basic new potato. You boil it, you know, when it's still warm. You can either put a bit of butter, if you do some cream, and some caviar, and, you know, here you go.
And
That is really
there've been
nice.
quite a few chefs in recent years exploring caviar in pastry.
Yes.
Because white chocolate.
Yes, definitely. We had a chef last week who contacted me because he had, you know, an event, you know, a big event, and his specialty is a chocolate tart with a nice kernel of caviar on the top. Us at Kaviari in Paris, we work with some big pastry chef, and every year they do a log.
Okay, a
Chocolate
Yule log.
log,
Yeah.
a Yule log, you know, most of the time with some chocolate, and they will put some caviar inside.
And is that quite a new thing, or have chefs been playing with caviar and sweet for more years than we know.
No, I think some chefs, you always have some chefs who like to innovate. And, you can use some caviar, as a condiment instead of putting some salt or anything like that. They're going to put like a transmontanus or a berry or a caviar pressé in their cooking.
Yeah.
As a base or as a condiment. And when we started us at Kaviari working with a chef pastry or with some chocolate professional, we used to use the caviar instead of the salt.
Okay.
But now we actually introduce the caviar inside with the ganache or with, then people are fantastic. Myself, I admire all the chefs. Sometimes they come with such fantastic ideas, to pairing, because you need to think about the caviar, which can be very salty, very fishy. You're gonna pair it with some chocolate or with some beef or a vegetable, and they're finding the right balance between the caviar, the main ingredient, and then some herbs. And I'm going to say, oh my God, it's fantastic. It's just, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful.
And in terms of, the kind of stereotypes like caviar and vodka, what would you say is the best thing to drink with caviar?
Caviar is vodka, is very traditional. Vodka and sake. Why is the vodka well known to eat with caviar? Because a long, long time ago, the caviar was not always very nice.
Okay.
It was very salty. It was, it took a very, very long time to actually, find the taste, the consistency for the caviar. So it was always very, very good, in the high society, to eat caviar. So they would have the caviar, straight away, a little shot of vodka. But yet again, with your potato and caviar, have a nice beer, have a pint.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I didn't know that. So vodka is basically to just... Like I used to do with my mum's cooking, a quick glass of water.
Yeah, with sake, caviar and sake is beautiful. It's very, very nice. Myself, I'm not too much into strong alcohol or all of that, so I will be more traditional. I will have a glass of champagne. That's caviar, champagne, nothing wrong with that. But if you want to it needs to be done. There's nothing wrong with that.
It needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. But then caviar, potatoes, your caviar, and you have a nice beer is good. And for people who don't drink alcohol, you can have tea. You can pair some very nice cold tea, and now you have lots of the kombucha, the fermented tea, and all of that. And you can do some very great pairing with tea and caviar. So don't feel guilty if you have a tea with your caviar on toast.
Yeah, and all of your your like super top big name chefs that are working with you guys and with Bruno. How different are their caviars from one another, really? How different would Hélène de Rose's caviar be to Passard's caviar, to Ducasse's caviar? Are they? Can they be that different?
Well, actually, they all use the same caviar. They all use the crystal caviar.
Yeah.
And they like using the crystal is an hybrid, cross with a Shrinky and an Ossodoricus, which is a cousin of the beluga. So that one produces some larger egg who are always very, very firm in textures. It will pop.
Yeah.
And they like working, with that caviar because you can do so many things. And that's why we call it the chef caviar, because it's a favorite, because the texture will hold the best if you put it on a warm dish. If you take a caviar like a berry or something like that, it will soften the caviar, and you don't want that. So for us, the crystal, which is firmer, is a chef's favorite. Everybody likes working with it, and as well you can pair it with more or less anything. The Ossiette is a traditional, so we've got many chefs as well who work with the Ossiette.
And do you have any idea which country consumes more caviar than anywhere else in the world? I should have looked this up, I don't know.
No, well, you know what? I can tell you that in London, we eat more caviar in London than we do in Paris.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The Asian... Bring
Sorry.
it down. The Asian country, Hong Kong, Singapore, they're big consumers of caviar.
Okay.
And then, of course, you've got America. In America, you've got caviar everywhere. You know, on the lobster roads, you know, if you go, you know, especially, you know, on each side, you know, where there is a sea and all of that, where they're more likely to use fish, you will have caviar everywhere. But yet again, America is such a big country that it's difficult to say, yes, there's a bigger eater, because you can't compare America to anything else. But no, in London, we do consume a lot of caviar.
And do you think we do... Which country would you say just does the most interesting things with caviar? I mean, there must be some countries that still just get the pearly spoon and...
Well, you know...
Who's the most inventive with caviar? Which country? Nobody's listening, so you can say. Off the record.
There is lots of chefs who just, you know, who just do lots of different crazy things with caviar. You know, you can do, you know, with a tempura. You know, lots of chefs use tempura vegetable and caviar. The Asian chef, you know, the Koreans, the chef from Hong Kong and all of that, I think they're quite good. But then, you know, every country has got their cuisine.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in the UK for 25 years, and as I was saying to somebody earlier, you have come from so far, you know, in 25 years, and now you have some great chefs who work really, really well with caviar.
Incredible.
Very, you know, inventive and,
Yeah.
you know.
We've actually forgotten about... Sorry, we just carried on.
We were just about to pack up and go home,
Sorry.
to be honest. But no, that's fine. Actually, what I have to say was, I saw you descaling the salmon.
Yeah.
The non-messy way, not the way that I do it at home when you just go like that and you put scales all over your kitchen. But yeah. Anyway, what's happened since we were last with you?
So I passed the stock right now. So now the stock is infused. I'm gonna cook the pasta in. So about 10 minutes, or I mean, they're gonna be al dente, obviously. But it's going to be a bit of liquid, so the liquid is going to cook in, it's going to reduce, they're going to soak all the liquid. Right? Usually you need to put like 2 times the volume of the pasta you're using, because you want a bit more liquid. Because when you're going to finish in a pan, you don't want to have something set. You don't want to build up a house, or it's not a salmon, it's just something like creamy and light to it, enjoyable. So far, this is cooking nicely. The fish as well, because the fish we're gonna cook it, I'm gonna make a nice color skin. I'm gonna finish in the oven and let it rest. So like this is gonna be nice and medium rare, nice and warm in the middle. And after we're gonna plate it. After that, sweating the shallot, sweating the garlic, a bit of butter, a bit of creme fraiche, just to go on the French style, to make sure it's quite like,
Of course.
completing the ethic.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there a specific oil that you were using to pan fry the
Yeah,
salmon?
I mean, I use the sunflower oil. If it's an unstick pan, very good, and the skin of the fish is very dry, you don't need to put any oil, because the salmon is so fatty already that it will reject. Like, all of this is just like fat from the salmon. Right? Half is the oil I just put on, half is the fat from the salmon. So yeah.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
what's your favourite way to, like, how would you eat caviar at home?
I eat caviar at home.
Breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Yeah. No, I do it, yeah, just with a spoon, the royal style. But that reminds me, like, when I used to be at my father's restaurant, we used to do it. My dad is a chef, so he's cooking quite a lot. And he's making bread as well. So we developed it was for New Year, I think. And we made mini baguettes with lime zest inside the baguette. So the bread was already like very high on aroma. And we just had to put like salted butter and just the caviar on toast, and it was like a kind of tartine of on the bread, and it was actually really, really like flavorful, completely different than what people see normally, because we never see bread with like lime or anything like that. So there. But the simple way is the best, I think.
So how long till plate, chef?
5-6 minutes.
5-6 minutes?
Yeah.
You have your 5-6 minute warning.
And again, Jeremy, at home in France, would you say that every celebration, like Christmas, Easter, whatever, there's always caviar around for a big celebration?
I mean, Catherine will confirm because I need to buy from her. So, yeah.
Is it still very much a celebratory?
Yeah.
It is.
In France, in Christmas and New Year's, especially in recent year, where caviar has become a lot more affordable. That's one of the things about farm caviar. It has become a lot more affordable, even though it's still very expensive. But now you can find some caviar in supermarket and all of that, and some people will want to try it. And so, yes, more and more. I mean, for us, we sell a lot of caviar, in France at Christmas and New Year. We've actually got some stores now. We've got 7 stores in Paris. They're called the Delicatessen. And we sell a lot of caviar. People come and get the little 15 grams of caviar. And a lot of people have never tried it before. But they've got some family coming around and they want to celebrate, with a loved one, and if they want, to show a bit of luxury or something like that, they will buy a little tin of caviar.
And do you still have? I think last time I saw you, you had like a premises that had been the former headquarters of Kaviari.
La Manufacture.
La Manufacture, and you use it as almost like an event space?
It's an event space. That's our old offices where we started, 45 years ago, and we've always kept them. And in the last 10 years, we transformed it into a learning space, stroke museum, where you can have you can see all on the wall, all of this history of caviar since the 15th, 16th century, because caviar has been around a long time. And then, once or twice a month, we have some chefs, any Michelin star chef or any chef who come and do a meal.
Like a residency, a pop-up.
Yeah, a pop-up, and we have a table where we had lunch for like up to 12 people. And the chef, we sometimes have Alain Passard, Alain Ducasse, or some of their chefs come in and cook for us. Or sometimes we have some people from the couture, from the fashion industry. They want to launch their collection, and they hire the manufacturer, and we cook for them, some food based on caviar, on salmon, and things like that. It's an amazing place.
How did you get into working with caviar?
Well, it's a kind of a family business. We knew the people who started the company for 40 years ago, and then 20 years ago when we actually went from wild caviar to farm caviar, we did a collaboration with them, and ever since we're like a big family.
That's nice.
But I haven't been working with them, for a long time. But, yeah.
And how many times a week do you think you eat caviar?
Oh, sometime every day, sometime
day?
once a week. It all depends. It all depends.
And
I always appreciate it in caviar.
Yeah.
Because every time, especially different time of the day, you say, oh, that was nice. Or, it's like it's still, something that you like eating. It's nice.
And are you permanently based in London yourself?
Yeah, we are. We've got an office.
You've got an office by Borough Market. No, is it near Borough Market?
Yeah, it's near Borough Market.
Yeah.
It's on Borough Street, an office that I share with my colleague Juliette, who's been working with me for a few months now. And yes, and it's a perfect place, because around Borough Market we've got some great restaurants as well, and it's so close, to anywhere in London, really. So yeah.
And do you have, as a company, do you have kind of assets available for chefs in terms of recipes and ideas?
Well, no, we can always give some suggestion and things like that. But the chefs, they know exactly what they're doing. Sometimes when we go and see a restaurant that don't use caviar, and sometimes young chefs are said, oh my God, well, I can't, no, I'm not using caviar, I don't know what to do. So we do suggest, you can do some things very simple, if you have a tartar on the menu, whether it's a tuna tartar, a beef tartar, or something like that, just put a nice quenelle of caviar. You can do pasta.
Yeah.
There is not something you can these days. You can pair caviar with anything. So what I would say to the chefs out there, don't be scared to use caviar. Yes, it's an expensive item, but it's going to bring that luxury to your dish that your client will love.
Amazing. How are we getting on with our dish?
I think we are we're on the cusp of greatness.
I had Rosa come and give me the evil eye.
Indeed,
Did you get it as well? I
Sorry,
got it as
Rosie.
well.
Sorry.
Yeah, chef, update us. What have you been doing since we've been away for the last half hour?
So we're almost ready to plate now. So I put the shallot, I put the garlic, I let it sweat without any butter. I just put a bit of butter, I made it foam, very foamy, so I extract all the flavor from the shallot and the garlic into the butter. And after I put all the pasta with the leftover stock inside there, and now it's finishing cooking all together. As you can see, it's quite creamy. It's not from the butter, it's from the starch, from the flour, the gluten releasing from the pasta. Right? That's why it made this quality. Better the pasta quality, better your dish will be, always. So now we're ready. So we're gonna add, we're gonna stop the fire. We're gonna add the creme fraiche on. We're gonna add a little bit of lemon. If it doesn't want to leave me. And we're gonna put the smoked salmon as we discussed earlier. So the smoked salmon go now because we want to have it hot and not cooking it. Eating cooked smoked salmon is not the most enjoyable things to do. It gets quite dry because you lost already all the water, and and it gets very salty. So you just add it now. There we go.
Good, chef. Not creamy enough.
Let's finish the creme fraiche. Be generous.
That was my dinner. And the caviar comes in and steals the show at the end.
Yes. So let me taste this to see if I can give it to you first. Are you gonna test now to let me know if it's good or not? Let me give you.
You're dancing, Phil.
If you insist, chef.
How's it?
Bang average.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You could just the smokiness is coming through of the smoked tea that you had
Yes.
in earlier on, and obviously there's a bit of smoked salmon in there as well. That is delicious. That's delicious on its own.
It is. It is. So now this is ready. So the same.
Yep, plating.
Let's do this one. I'm gonna add now the caviar inside.
Really?
Because you cook,
okay.
yeah, you cook at home. And the caviar is the same as the smoked salmon. It's just a bit more fragile. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put at the end.
So will that have a seasoning quality to it as well?
Yes, but it will. I will say it will more expand its flavor of see the saltiness, the nuttiness. It depends which caviar you have and how much you eat caviar to understand that. All right.
Happy with the cooking, chef?
Yeah.
Happy
It's
with
nice
that?
medium rare. They're here. I was looking for it.
Very good. So,
So-
how much? Oh, quite a
Yeah, I mean
Quite a chunk.
we're cooking for ourselves, so let's be generous.
luxury starts at home, doesn't it? But
There we go.
It also adds a visual element as well, though, right? I mean, it's not obviously
Yes, it will
massive on
pair.
flavour, but
So you can do as well if you do like a fish pan fry and you want to do like a sauce on the side. You can do like a fish sauce with butter. We call it in French beurre blanc, and we say perler, so you can drop the caviar at the end inside, and it will like make it like very like different dimension of the flavor. So we have it here.
beautiful.
A little bit of pepper.
Final touches.
And I'm just gonna put at the end a little bit of lime, just for the nose. When you arrive, just on a dish, this will just like refresh everything.
Good, good. And a tablespoon quenelle of caviar on top.
Exactly. We're gonna do this.
I mean, that just looks like a regular Monday night tea, doesn't it, really? All of these pressures we're putting you under, chef, to do these things in front of a camera.
That's good. Look at this. Are you happy with the quantity?
Yeah, for now. Yeah.
There we go.
Excellent. Just remind everybody what we've got here.
So. There we go. So just to restart everything, we're having a Osso risotto with smoked salmon, fresh salmon, caviar, and the Osso pasta is smoked with a smoked tea.
Jeremy, legend. Thank you very,
You're
very
welcome.
much. That's
You're welcome.
awesome.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you very much, Catherine. That was
With
awesome.
pleasure, thank you.